Hello, collective. It's Kai. So, I just kind of wanted to update the process, the progress, and kind of give myself as the example as I fucking do. Because I'm still progressing through this act of no longer perpetuating the same pains, right? I read this beautiful thing on Instagram today that was saying, it was pretty much talking about like not detaching just so that I don't experience pain, right? But the thing that I wanted to talk about in correlation to that is sometimes it's not the same fucking pain. Sometimes there really is no feeling behind the action and in which I respond to someone. So my response is now different versus reacting. And the ways in which I kind of differentiate that is when I become reactive, it's very instantaneous. It's very clouded. It's very emotionally elevated is the ways that I'm describing it. Because once again, I'm only going to speak for myself. When I'm constantly in this state of being where, yes, sometimes it's pure joy, sometimes it's pure excitement, right? Especially when I'm excited, I tend to not be paying that much attention. And I'm sure there's people out there who fucking resonate, but the thing about that is it is important for me to embody that, because why not enjoy myself, right? So then vice versa, why am I not allowing myself to feel like shit? Word, right? And it's all about balance. It's all about truly feeling what you're actually feeling. And I was like kind of processing this whole thing with myself in my own personal life, where I recognize that I actually don't care as much as I thought I did. And I love the whole reflection game where like it's truly a fucking game, because if you can navigate it properly, then you can really see yourself. So what I say when I'm explaining this is like everything outside of me is a pure reflection of me. How I'm reacting or responding to another person, how I think of them, how I feel towards them. Anything is just a reflection of how I feel, think, move, respond, react with myself. And so what I've been learning is that I recognized how I've taken things to a very personal degree with a specific person, and there is no personal connection between us. So like the whole game that's being played within my mind, right? It's a game that I'm playing with myself. And so it's really just to take a step back and be like, okay, let's be practical, let's be real. What do I actually want? How am I serving myself with what I'm doing? Is this truly something that fulfills me? Yes and no. And so I was just kind of mitigating through that and like understanding myself to a higher degree. But I don't want to like go too into it because I'm still processing it. I do also want to recognize like, you know, there are very silly parts of me that I don't show people because I have felt shame with, right? So like a good example is being flirtatious with someone physically when I'm actually physically attracted to them. And I recognize through this experience, my face just lit the fuck up. And I was like, bruh. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I embarrassed? And like, I really was real with myself in that moment, and I quickly caught myself, and I was just like, okay, I'm here for you. I know you're physically attracted to this person, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not that fucking serious. Like, there's nothing wrong with what you're feeling. There's also nothing wrong with them not being receptive to you. And also the other way around, there's nothing right about it necessarily either. It's just learning more about myself, right? And there's nothing right about them being non-receptive to me. So it's like constantly balancing things out. And I know that there is a few practitioners in spirituality who believe that duality is like focusing so much on duality is not good. But as someone who grew up in a very chaotic environment, I do feel like it works best for me. And then at the same time, being able to give myself silence, pure fucking silence. And I don't sometimes, if I'm being so fucking real. After I moved, I literally was just so going ham on music, TikTok, like YouTube, Korean dramas, like all of the fucking shit has been coming up, right? So the patterns are coming up as well, the cycles. And I was struggling with my ED for 2 days, but I wasn't really struggling. I was just kind of accepting it because when it's a psychological thing, right? Like if you understand EDs to a certain extent, then you know what I'm talking about. But like it's really based on where I'm at psychologically, emotionally, mentally, and then therefore physically. And so I just kind of was like, you know what? I'm gonna roll with the punches. This is where I'm at, and I'm growing in gratitude for this new space that I'm now occupying. And it's actually really fucking cool. Like truly, it's really fucking cool. And I fucking am blessed and I know it, but I am in this space where I'm just kind of like, I just want to focus on myself. I really just want to fucking build and cultivate this space so that I can feel safe when I come home, so that I can be myself when I come home. And I know to an extent I've always been kind of preaching like being yourself outside, but it can be fucking challenging. It can be challenging because it's also a space outside is also a space where discernment is necessary just as much as inside. And I mean that not only internally within your being, but in your own space that you've cultivated, that you've created to be safe. Because safe versus comfortable are different, but they elude each other. They're just fucking like this, and then they're like this, and then they're like not. And I recognize that. Like, I got very, very comfortable in being in a very chaotic environment. And so, therefore, I couldn't find peace when there is peace. And now that I'm in a peaceful place, I'm creating chaos within myself, when in reality, my environment is so peaceful. So, it's kind of like a. It's kind of like a duel with myself. Like, I'm literally just facing myself. I'm like, bro, why are you making this so fucking challenging for you? And I'm facing that. I'm acknowledging that. I'm facing that. And it's really important for me to be real with myself. Because as much as I would love to be like all love and light to you guys, like that's definitely not the case all the time. Not the case all the fucking time. And that's the point. Nothing is fucking permanent. Time is a fucking illusion, okay? But I get caught up in it too. Okay, don't worry. I literally wear a watch when I'm at work. Different setting entirely, but still. Like, that is why I'm so keen on lighting my own path. Like, being the pioneer, leading by example. Also understanding that I'm not perfect. I too am still discerning my flaws, and like I mean that in a way where it's like I'm not going to debilitate myself just because I do something that's quote unquote shitty, right? And I recognize that even recently when it comes to how I respond to people. And I've become a lot more real and blunt, and some people just can't fucking take that shit, and that's fine. That's literally fine. I just have to now, from that response or reaction, whatever it is, I'm going to also, with all due respect, make my own decision. Because we all have free will. We all have the ability to either build ourselves up or fucking break ourselves down. And sometimes we do need to fucking break that fucking tower. Because that tower needs to be completely destroyed so that we can reconstruct the foundations. And I've really been recognizing that. It's like I've been in this very sensitive place for so much time. This whole fucking year from this point to last year. Since last year of September, I've just been fucking building myself back from being super dysregulated physically, from being physically attacked, from being overstimulated by someone that I'm attracted to and experience limerence with, and being around new people, new environments, traveling, all of these fucking components. And then finally, it's me addressing my mental bullshit. It's me addressing my mental bullshit. Because there was physical, then there was mental, or physical, then emotional, and then now it's mental. And we're cognizant beings. We are literally able to have a consciousness and communicate. And so I'm really recognizing that, yes, communication is important, but just as much, so is silence. Silence speaks so loud if you just let it. And I'm just letting it. I'm just letting it speak. And it's just reaffirming things. It's also recalibrating a few things. It's redirecting me towards places that literally are meant for me, right? I don't know, man. It's just really... It's just been a lot of information, and I've been taking it in due kind, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, I actually don't want to fucking hear it anymore. Especially being a woman and tapped into my intuition and practices cartomancy, does divination, oracles for people. Like, all of these fucking messages, all these downloads are constantly happening for me. So sometimes I'm like, I need a fucking break. I need a fucking break because I'm getting burnt out. But that's my cue, because I have been sleeping like a little fuck. It's been off and on, but it's okay. It's truly like I'm just dealing with it. And like I said, rolling with the punches, but at the same time, it's not even a punch, it's a poke. But I'm truly like, I'm learning. I'm really learning. And I've been humbled. I've been sat the fuck down. I've been also thrown fucking aside. I've also been flying in the wind. Like, I've been moving in flow like a river. I've also been the rock that's just sitting in the fucking sun and staring out into space. So it's just been very multifaceted and just going with the flow, honestly. So yeah, that's the video. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being fucking you. Thank you for being alive, period. Like, seriously. And yeah, I'm sending you so much love on your own spiritual journey. Bye, guys.